In this lesson, we'll be talking about community interactions. So we'll talk about how organisms within a certain community, and that would be the collection of organisms within their abiotic and biotic ecosystem, how they interact, what kind of relationships do they have. And so you should have your student notes out and ready to take some notes. So the guiding question for this lesson is, how do organisms in the same community interact with each other? So first of all, we should probably define what a biological community is. And a community is all the populations of organisms inhabiting the same geographical area at the same time. Okay, so a population is just how many of a certain species do you have, and a community is how many different organisms do you have and how many of each. Okay, so the interactions between organisms can vary widely, and these interactions will impact how your ecosystem functions. So for example, interspecific competition is one example of an interaction. So this is competition between, and we remember this because inter has an E, and this is between two or more species. So two or more different species. So here's a lion and some hyenas. Maybe they're fighting over a zebra carcass, for example. Okay. Here's a, I don't know if this is a squirrel or a groundhog or something, and it is competing with birds, probably for food. Okay. In that Australian mice explosion video, there were probably some other creatures that the mice were competing with, and that would be an example of interspecific competition. So competition between two or more species. Okay, now in contrast, intraspecific competition is competition within the same species. So here, two of the same species, it looks like dogs or wild dogs or something, are competing over this deer carcass. Okay, two turkey vultures punching each other over a carcass. Okay, they are the same species competing for the same thing. Okay, the mice in the Australian mice explosion video were competing with each other for resources, for water, right? Possibly for mates. So there are many examples of intraspecific competition in that example as well. So if you look at these two columns, okay, we have two rhinos competing with each other, two deer competing with each other. It looks like maybe these guys would be competing for mates, two seagulls, okay? And then over here we have bunnies and giraffes all eating the same resource, right? Grass. And zebras and looks like maybe wildebeest are eating or drinking the same pool of water, and lions and hyenas are competing for a steak. Very nicely prepared for them in the jungle. So if we are competing between two different species, that's going to be interspecific. When we have the same, right, S-A-M-E, this is going to be intraspecific. Okay, rhino against rhino is intraspecific. Wildebeest against zebra is going to be interspecific. Okay, so another relationship that we might want to look at is predator-prey. Okay, one organism assimilates another organism, eats another organism. The predator eats the prey. This is beneficial for one and not so much for the other, but this is one relationship that is going to be found in ecosystems, right? And this is how energy is transferred from primary producers to primary consumers and secondary consumers, and so on and so forth. So parasitism is another example of an interaction. Okay, a specialized predator, otherwise known as a parasite, lives on or in its host. Now, parasitism is characterized by the fact that the parasite hurts the host, but usually doesn't kill it. It actually benefits more if the host is alive, and that way the parasite can continue to suck the blood or I don't know, live in an intestine or whatever. So that's kind of gross. And then we have this Far Side cartoon. Pull out, Betty, pull out. You've hit an artery. Looks like the mosquito, the parasite, is taking a little too much blood there. All right. There is this video on brood parasitism. See if you can go back to the website and find that if you are watching this from home. Okay, commensalism. Some of these terms are new, so make sure you log these away in your head. You will need to understand the relationships here. In commensalism, one organism benefits, and the other organism is not really harmed or helped. Okay, so a shark and remora. The shark doesn't really mind having the remora around them, but the remora actually get some good meals out of it. So this is an example of commensalism. Bird in a tree, the birds definitely benefit, and the tree is not harmed by them living in their nest. Maybe they even get a little bit of nutrition from bird poop. I don't know. Anyway, so commensalism. One organism benefits, the other organism doesn't really care either way. Here's another video that you should check out. This is called mutualism or symbiosis. Both of the organisms will benefit from the interaction. In this picture here, there's an ant, and it is able to defend the acacia tree. Really cool story, highly recommend. Both organisms are benefiting from this interaction. So this is a mutualism. Okay. Yeah, so take a look at those videos. The second side or the back side of your notes should be some practice problems. These are also posted in the website, so make sure that you do those as well. That'll give you some good practice identifying what kind of relationship is it. Is it a mutualism? Is it a commensalism? Is it a parasitism? Who's benefiting? Who isn't? What is the nature of this interaction?